Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of the Grid Talk podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Littell, alongside my co-host, Kyle Smith. Kyle, how you
Doing good,
doing?
brother. How you doing?
Doing good. Today we have a special guest on our show. He is a 5-time winner in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, as well as the most recent winner in the series, driver of the number 99 Toyota, Ben Rhodes. Ben,
Good,
how you
man.
doing
Can you
today?
ask me how many races we won this year?
Yeah, how
All
many
As
of
have you
many
won
them.
as
this
we've
year?
raced.
All of them.
All of them. Exactly. Exactly. That is awesome.
Hey, I had to do it. I think you know me well enough. I try to be a humble person, but
Nah.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
Nah. Hey, the way you're
Hey,
rolling,
2 races, 2 wins.
that's
I mean,
incredible.
you got the bragging
Well,
rights
I'm
right
gonna
now.
enjoy him because Lord knows that the racing scene can be unfair at times, and you know what? You don't know when your next win's
Yeah.
going to be. I'd like to say it's the next race. You just don't know that. It could be 3 years from now. So I'm enjoying the heck of it out of it right now. So any chance I
Absolutely.
can get, I'm going to say that line. Any chance I can get, it's all of them.
That was perfect too. I loved it. That is awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, back-to-back wins coming off of that to open the season. How just have the past 2 weeks been for you? Must be pretty exciting to open the season
Yeah,
that way.
we've been busy. It's so funny. You win a race and you're busier than ever before. They're like, "What do you do to celebrate?" And you're like, interviews." so so
Honestly, though.
yeah. So we got done at the track. We did a whole bunch of interviews. I meet back up with the team as we're leaving, and we set out. We had a few beers. We set out till I don't know 3, 4 in the morning, and just kind of talked about the race. And we did that for both wins actually. The first win at Daytona
Okay.
and the second win. So it was almost like deja vu, but it was awesome. It's been so busy though. Lots of travel.
Oh yeah. And then you live in Kentucky, right? Like that's where you stay?
Yeah, so that's what makes travel tough.
No kidding. So then you gotta. Do you spend a lot of time down in Sandusky, or you mostly just Kentucky to track and then back, or how do you kind of do that?
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm leaving for Sandusky this week. I'm up in Sandusky quite often, to be honest. Usually for
Okay.
3 days or so is probably my average. 2 to 3 days is my average time, and then we fly commercial everywhere we go, rather than other race teams. And I have to go to Charlotte quite
Oh,
often too. So I'm on the road a lot, not as much as you, Kyle, but quite a bit.
well, still, hey, we're both having fun, but I get paid to look at it. Wait, we both get paid to hold steering wheels. So,
True,
yeah,
true.
I
You
mean, you
got the
can't
big
beat
truck. I
that,
got the
right?
little truck.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, I was kind
So,
of wondering, between the two races, which one? I guess, I mean, they're probably both your favorite, but which one was the hardest to win? I guess.
Oh gosh, there's a huge amount of luck that goes into the Speedway race, but
Yeah.
golly, we got
Yeah. Ask
tested.
McDowell.
Yeah, we got tested so hard at that road course race. I mean, it was restart after restart after restart. It was for sure the most stressful race. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know which one's harder to win. They were both pretty hard to win. I've put a lot of years into trying to win the super speedway race, and a lot of bad things happen. I don't know. I don't know if there's a good
Yeah.
answer. They're both tough. They're both really, really tough.
Okay. I know Brendan had some questions about the first race.
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, the overtime restart there, just kind of your thoughts, because I believe you were leading on the restart, and then Sheldon Creed got around you, and just kind of your thoughts after you took the white and you made that move for the lead, just kind of what went through
Yeah.
your head on
So
that.
I mean, to be honest, the all the restarts kind of ran into a jumble in my brain. I'm having a hard time remembering all of them because it seemed like we did 5 or something stupid.
There's like 12 in each
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
So I do remember the time Sheldon. So we had a huge lead. The yellow came out after they put the white flag out as I was coming to the line, and then Sheldon got back around me on that time, um, and he got around me because he raced us really. I don't want to say dirty, but he ran me off so he ran me up in turn 3 up the track, and then he ran me off the track
Hmm.
going into turn 5, and then ran me off the track again from 5 to 6. And these are on the straightaways. Like, he's turning
Wow.
into me to run me off the track. So then we get a yellow again, and we pass him on the next restart. He goes in the corner, blows the corner. We get past him, and then we keep it after that. So yeah, it was a challenge for sure. And when you race with certain drivers, like you kind of know that you're in for a ride just based off their history.
Well, you know what he did, man. He kind of drove his way into not having a sponsor for the second race. I don't want to. I hope he doesn't listen to this and say screw that kid. But he kind of drove his way into an all-white truck.
You know, he was mad at me after the race. I guess he had some comments or something. I never listened to him, but I guess he said he didn't like the way I raced him, and I'm not quite sure what he meant by that, because he went up the track. And I think I went up the track with him in turn 1, but he blew the corner first. I got underneath him and kind of went up the track a little bit. But after that, man, he tried to run me off the racetrack on the straightaways. And, let's not forget the time he totaled one of our trucks out for 7th place at Eldora, right? So I'm not concerned with the way he feels, but at the same time, it kind of makes me wonder where he's coming at.
Yeah, me and Brendan were actually both in Phoenix for the championship when he won that there. And that was I was kind of, who was it? Grant Enfinger was in the Final Four there, I believe. That he ended up, Korea ended up winning it. But yeah, he seems like he can, he's a decent racer. You got to be good to be where you're at there. But he seems like he can have somewhat of a hot head inside of a hot helmet at certain times.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it.
But yeah, and I think we're with the road course there. I kind of something we just kind of covered, but I just kind of want to know the mindset. When you came out of that one reset or restart, and you had it won, and they waved that stinking yellow flag for the 50th time. When you were probably 200 feet from winning the race. I just kind of want to know, like, how do you go from you got it to you got to stack it up, get back in that mindset, and do it all over again?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, because I basically, in my mind, I was crossing the line. I was preparing. We had like 20 truck links out the back. I was kind of telling myself, like, man, we kind of got this. Like, it's going to be really hard for him to get to our bumper. And then I see, coming to the white flag. I'm like, next flag ends it. There'll probably be a yellow. We're in good shape here. That yellow comes out, and I was doing like the angry Italian, like the hand gesture out the front windshield, the shaking fist and the wrist moving type of thing. I was doing that at the flagman. Like, come on. Like, you get.
And he had the white flag too. And I don't know if you
saw the white
video
flag
or not. He has the flag, and he's like, "Nah, you know what? Screw you, homeboy. Here's the yellow."
It's like we went 3.61 miles around this track, and you're talking a couple 100 feet before the line. You're going to throw the yellow flag. I was so mad, but I was mad for a couple laps. Thank goodness there were yellow flag laps, and then I kind of recomposed myself for the next, green, white, checkered. But yeah, it took a little bit out of me. The next green, white, checkered, I was definitely mentally in a different spot.
Because even on that last restart, then you kind of fell back a little bit going into turn 1, didn't you?
Yeah. The very last restart.
Because that ended kind of
restart.
No, that was the first.
We ended up, by the time the yellow flag came out, I think we ended up having like a 10 truck length lead or a 12 truck length lead over Creed. In that lap and a half that we ran. So we did get out, and we did get some of our lead back, but it wasn't quite as much as the first time.
Yeah. All right. No, it's a good answer. I don't know, Brendan, what you got?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to know, like, all those restarts, overtime restarts, just like kind of how difficult it was on the older tires to like keep nailing those restarts and whatnot to hold the
lead I was
that
actually getting more and more concerned about it. That's a good question. I guess if you heard my radio, you probably would have known how I felt. I wasn't happy, right? I wasn't happy that the fact that we kept having these restarts. We were running out of fuel. The race ended on lap 51. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to run out of fuel on lap 51.
Wow.
And you had John Hunter and Matt Crafton that both had pretty new tires compared to me, like really new tires compared to me. And every restart, I mean, you're spinning your tires, you got a little bit of lockup here and there. And, every restart is major wear on your tires on a road course because it's not just a normal restart. I mean, these are green, white checkered restarts. So you're driving as hard as you can, thinking that the race could end any second, not trying to save anything. And little do you know, you've got to do this 5 more times. So, yeah, I wasn't saving anything for sure, and you could feel the tires going away. I was actually starting to get a little bit worried towards the end that I wouldn't have anything to hold them off with. But I guess the last lap kind of surprised myself when we were able to pull away as much as we did.
Interesting. Yeah, for sure. So switching kind of away from Daytona, going back into the actual season, this year you guys switched from Ford back to Toyota. Previously, you guys were with Toyota in 2017. Obviously, it's been working well for you guys. Already 2 wins to start it off. But what has the switch back to Toyota been like for your team?
It's been okay, man. Like I think a lot of people, especially at the team, were thinking when this was going to happen that we were going to be, like total 911. This was going to be really the hardest thing ever. And I'll tell you, Toyota made it as easy as ever. They basically came to us and said, hey, here's everything you had in 2017 when you were a part of this Toyota family. And here's everything we've worked on since. And by the way, you've been racing against this whole time. And we kind of just like looked at one another and we were like, we've been racing against this. And we couldn't believe
So they came to you.
We could,
and we're like, come on home.
Sort of. It was a mutual thing from what I understand. And that was all handled with ThorSport, right? But when they handed us the stuff that we'd been racing against and all the engineering support, we were like, wow, this is going to be a pretty easy transition. Really, at that point, it just came down to production. How quick could we turn out the trucks? How quick could we throw them in the body shop, cut off the bodies, cut all the old components off, put all new Toyota parts on, and build these things out right as Tundras. And it really just came down to production. So everything on the engineering side, the competition side, like we were nailing that. I felt like the body side and chassis and all that stuff. That's definitely pretty labor intensive, and it took a lot of work.
No, because you guys, they kind of broke the announcement. I was like, damn, what was it, like 2 weeks before Daytona?
Yeah, pretty much.
It came out, and I'm like, holy heck, they got like no time to do this.
Yeah, that was and then, pretty accurate.
I mean, hey, apparently they did everything right because you've been to victory lane.
So far, so good. Don't ask us how many trucks we have built. Just know that we have trucks that are built that
it's
are
the
winning
same one.
races.
That's why I keep winning.
Exactly. Don't ask about our stock. Just ask about the ones that are winning.
That's why when we had to postpone last week, I told Brendan, I said, hey, we might want to wait till after Homestead. Maybe you can win another one. We get him our third one.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel good about this year. I really do. Just I was a little uneasy going in with the manufacturer swap. I was a little uneasy with the new crew chief and pretty much all new crew members. But
how's that kind of worked for you? Is it kind of just kind of over time and maybe practiced or somewhat? Which honestly, don't even have that much practice.
Yeah, and
is it just as you go?
Practice was the best way to kind of learn each other, right? And get to know one another. But heck, I mean, I think getting 2 wins is a good way to do it. I've never had that happen. I've worked with a lot of people,
which is crazy.
I've worked with a lot of people, and I've never had that happen.
Yeah, which you've been racing in the trucks for a while now. I mean, you've been racing period for a while now. You got 5 career wins, and really just in the past last year, this year, you got 3 of them. Are you is maybe something now just kind of clicking for you that maybe wasn't before? Like you kind of hitting that sweet spot?
I think, I'll say a little bit. I'm doing stuff a little bit differently as far as myself goes. Mentally in a better place, experienced, way more experienced, approaching races different, pacing the race better. I'm doing a lot of things different, and I would say in a better way than what I did when I started, especially since, my first win in a Tundra, which was Las Vegas in 2017. Yeah. I'm doing things different, but I attribute a lot of success to Rich, and my crew. I really believe they're bringing me really fast Tundras right now. I think that last year when we won at Darlington, and there's a few other races last year that, we were quick enough to win. Things didn't work out, but
Yeah.
I think they're just they're hitting on all strides, and they're bringing me fast trucks. Like this road course truck drove so good compared to a truck that I had in like 2017, 18, 19. Like he did it right. Whatever he said, however he set it up to Ben Rhodes' liking.
No kidding. Which it's cool too, because the road course setup on a race vehicle is quite a bit different than what super speedway. And to kind of turn that around the way they did, and for you to be able to win the super speedway race and then come right back, and I mean, you pretty much kind of dominated the road course
Well,
race.
it is, it's opposite ends of the spectrum for sure. I think though, that just shows his expertise as a crew chief to be able to set something up and 1 week and, go through and be fast and compete for the win at the Speedway and then be able to go to I mean, that just shows his expertise as a crew chief. And he told me, he says, "Man, I've got something to prove this year." I said, "Good." I said, "I hope you do." I said, "Let's go win all kinds of races." He says, "That's my plan." He says, "I hope you're on board for it because that's what we're going to do." I said, "All right." And he's proven everything he's told me so far. So,
Yeah, you both have. You're both holding up your
yeah.
end of the
So
deal.
I said, "Hey, you want to win races? I want to win races. This is a good pairing."
Exactly. Which I don't know. Do trucks run at Michigan this year?
I think they took us away. I don't think we're running there.
Did
Yeah, I
they?
think they did.
That's my home track. We got bumped down to one
Hey,
race. Michigan kind of sucks
well,
anyway, but I mean it's beautiful there. That sucks here.
they got rid of my home track too, so you're not the only one that's suffering.
Kentucky, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh well, NASCAR.
Yeah, I think someone had a fan question actually about Kentucky and your thoughts of them kind
Yeah,
of
it
taking
kind of
it off the
stinks, man.
schedule.
I had all my I didn't even know it was happening. I saw it online, and then I had a few people reach out from the Speedway after it was announced, and saying, "Hey, it was good run. It was nice working with you, all that great stuff." But I had all these friends at the Speedway that they lost their jobs, and I don't get to work with them anymore. I should have been doing these media luncheons with Kentucky Speedway. We usually do charity events during the summer. Like there's so much that was kind of Kentucky Speedway oriented in my life. And I grew up racing there too, like legend cars and bandoleros. Um, it's pretty near and dear to my heart for it to just be taken away. And now I drive past it every week or every other week on my way to Sandusky, and it's just sitting there rotting away. Like it makes no sense to me. But I'm not the one calling the shots. So
No, and I thought Kentucky always had good racing too.
yeah, and I mean,
Colt Custer's first win there, awesome finish. Even the Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch race, banging doors. I mean, I loved Kentucky at night.
yeah, like exactly. I mean, you're
So it
seeing the good
sucked.
restarts that the place had, and the racing's getting better and better. I mean, maybe this is
Yeah.
something where they just say, "Hey, we just repaved it. We're going to shelve it for a few years, several years, and we're going to come back in 10 years, and the track pavement's going to be all wore out, and we're going to race 7 wide." Maybe that's their thinking,
Hey,
but
that'd be awesome.
they never shared it with me. I'm not I'm not a big enough guy for them to let anybody know.
Well, keep winning,
Yeah.
you'll be up there.
Yeah, hopefully they bring it back in
That
some
would be
sort of way
nice.
in the next few years. Yeah, for sure. Kyle, did you have any more questions before we get into wrapping it up?
Oh, what was I gonna ask? Oh, I don't know how much you want to cover this, but Christian Eckes coming to Thor Sport.
Man,
I had to ask.
man,
There's a famous picture on
I
social
thought that I
media.
liked you.
I didn't say I was a Christian Eckes fan.
No,
I mean, obviously, you see, he was in a part-time
I'm
ride
joking.
now.
I'm joking. Hey,
Um,
me and Christian, we're good. We squashed all the beef,
yeah,
and here's the thing. All right, so I texted Christian when I knew that he was going to be my recruit or my teammate, and I said, "Hey,
right.
let me know." I said, "Lunch is still on me if you want to meet in Sandusky or we meet in Charlotte, whatever." Couldn't get times to work out, so finally in Daytona this week, I texted him and I said, "Hey, you want to meet me at some Olive Garden for some lunch?" This was Friday before the race, and he said, "Sure." So I go in there, get a couple menus, we sit down, and we just start talking. And it was actually pretty amazing how much him and I have in common, and our backgrounds. He kind of went down a very similar route that I went down, and worked with a lot of the same people that I had worked with, which I thought was pretty cool. He did it a few years after I did. So like I worked in Legend Cars. He worked with the same guy I worked with, and I did it 2010, 2011. I think he was 2014 or so. So it was cool, kind of talking about that, and we hit it off well, and basically, by the end of it, I can say that I think we're going to have a good year as teammates, and we're going to grow our relationship. I'm not going to say we're always going to be best of buds or any of this. I can't, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can say that, we're going to be good teammates on and off the racetrack. And if he needs anything, I'm going to help out. And, I hope that, everything's kind of behind us. And I think that's kind of the right thing to do. And I had huge run-ins with Johnny before he became my teammate. And now I can, yeah, big run-ins. And I think that now, he's one of the guys that I go and talk to and kind of pick his brain. And he's one of the easiest guys to talk to in the garage for me. So I love having him as my teammate.
Well, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's something I don't know. I remember watching that race and then seeing the backlash you got. I thought was pathetic. I'm sure you had your notifications on Instagram turned on.
No, never done that.
No,
I don't, partly because I don't know how. But
oh, I mean, hey, I can show you how to do that. I do that.
It's
sometimes.
it was actually, well, I'll say that the notifications on Twitter were really tame compared to what was happening at the racetrack. I walked out my hauler, and we were getting ready to leave that race. I got 50 people out there wanting to kick my butt, and we hop in the rental car and leave. And I look on Twitter and on Facebook and Instagram. I got all these direct messages from just people I've never met or know in my life.
Oh, just haters, man.
And
Kids.
some of them are in different languages. So I was having a blast putting them in Google Translate.
Brazilians, like, what
and it's like, I don't know what this means in their culture, but it doesn't translate well. And it's just like the funniest thing to read some of those. So I've still got them.
That's always something I've kind of wondered too, social media. And I think NASCAR Twitter is some of the most toxic social media around. That's why I'm not big on Twitter. I'm more on Instagram. I'm Michigan Diecast on Instagram, obviously. I don't know if you've ever checked it out, but so I'm on Instagram a lot. And after that race, I was on your page. I was like, I'm gonna go see what's going on Ben Rhodes' Instagram. And I still, actually, before we got on here, when I knew we were gonna have you on, I went on your post on your page just to kind of breeze through there. I was breezing through the comments, and I'm just like, some people, that's the stuff they see on TV, and then.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
take
media
it out on them.
Too doesn't do us a whole lot of favors as drivers. So media does a really good job of portraying a driver how they want to portray them. And there's a lot of drivers that I've met in real life, whether I was a fan of them as cup drivers growing up, or these might be people I even race against, that are portrayed one way by the media. And then you meet them in real life, and they're like the total opposite. Like, media makes them out to be a sweetheart. You meet them, they're horrible. Like, they're just mean. or you meet somebody who media makes to be a horrible person, and you meet them, and they're like, like the saint that's giving to charity, and they're like working at the soup kitchen, and like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just awesome.
Wow.
And
like, super cool people.
Media doesn't do us any favors on that by any means. But I'll tell you, that was one of the cool things about getting these back-to-back wins was I had so many haters saying when Christian came to the team, my Twitter lit up again with, instead of like, oh, hopefully you and Christian can be good teammates. No, it was like, fire Ben Rhodes.
Are you serious?
So I had like, I don't know, 50 messages from people,
wow.
Get rid of Ben Rhodes. He's the worst driver in NASCAR.
Does that ever bug you? Like, do you ever want to reply? Like, I don't know. I can be a rude person when people say stupid stuff. Go, because I'm a diecast guy. And it's a hobby of mine. I love the sport. It's like I love the sport. Everything about it. I love going to the racetrack, the fan experience. There's nothing like it. And, you get these guys, and I'm not a big Chase Elliott guy. So I'll kind of, put little stuff out, troll some Chase Elliott fans. And you'll get the ones you're like, oh, how about you go play with your toys in your mom's basement and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, are you
Yeah.
serious? Nobody knows anybody's story, but they're so quick to just say anything they feel like saying behind a phone screen with no consequences, and it boggles my
Yeah,
mind.
and unfortunately, that's not
But
the world would actually be a better place if that was just limited to NASCAR. The problem is it's
exactly.
unlimited. It's on everything for every topic, every place, everywhere.
Mhm.
So, I guess that's just human nature. But, oh well, the wins were nice. I don't have as much hate mail now.
Yeah, exactly. Now you got the last lap too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I think you're gonna have a lot more. Hopefully, maybe I'll see you in Phoenix. Maybe you'll be racing.
We better be. With the start of the season, if we can't keep it going, I'm going to be pretty disappointed.
Well, it's a long season. I'm a Kyle Busch fan, so I know how that goes. Last year was miserable, but yeah. I love Kyle. And then when you go back to media, with the way the media portrays people, everybody hates Kyle, which I've met Kyle a couple times, and he's incredible.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, yeah. What you got, Brendan?
All right. So just to kind of wrap it up, looking ahead to the next race at Las Vegas and then the rest of the season, what are your kind of
Atlanta and Las Vegas,
I
think, will be really good races for us. Should have definite top fives there in my mind. If we don't, I'll be pretty upset, pretty disappointed. Those are races I've had circled on the calendar for this year as good, strong performances. Really not excited at all for the Bristol Dirt Race. They could just throw that one off the schedule and replace it with something else. I would be happy.
Wow.
And then for the rest of the year, really, I would like to get a minimum of 3 wins. 4 would be great, and then anything beyond that, I would just be absolutely stoked.
Absolutely.
All right, cool, interesting.
What's I want to ask quick. What's up with the Bristol Dirt?
Just Ben Rhodes and dirt don't get along. We don't mix. It's like water and oil.
Well, they got rid of Eldora. And
it's like water and oil. We just don't mix, man. I'd like to think I'm the water and the Bristol Dirt Race is the yucky oil.
Well, hey, I hear a lot in racing. Some tracks and some stuff you end up hating, you win at, and then it changes.
That is true. I didn't like the Daytona road course race before this past weekend, and now I love it. So it does change. Maybe if we go win Bristol, then I'll probably tell you that it's my favorite track ever, and I love that race more than any of them.
Definitely.
So drivers are fickle. We're very fickle. Dirt.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Ready?
All righty. So that about wraps it up there. Ben, we thank you for
thanks,
coming
guys.
on.
Appreciate you having me, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. Congrats on your 2 Daytona wins once again. And
thanks, guys. You got a new fan of the podcast right here.